talk to you.
Oh, hi, I'm Aurelia.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh, wait, I'm Greek, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know much about Roman wedding customs, and I was wondering if maybe you could walk me through this.
Oh yeah, sure, I'd love to.
Awesome, thank you.
You want to sit down?
Sure, yeah.
So, the first thing about a traditional Roman wedding that you need to know is that it starts with the sponsalia, or the engagement ceremony.
Wait, I thought this was the engagement ceremony.
No, this is the wedding ceremony.
Traditionally, the process of marriage between a man and woman begins as an agreement that the families of the soon-to-be-wed come to during the sponsalia. This agreement would typically designate who the bride and groom are to be, as well as the dose, or the dowry of the bride.
Wait, what is that exactly?
The dose is the property, or the money, to be brought to the groom by the bride's family on the day of the wedding.
However, the amount is agreed upon during the sponsalia, and its value should be appropriate to the means and wealth of the bride's father, or the paterfamilias, who is the head of the household. If the paterfamilias could not pay the dose, family friends usually help out, and the bride sometimes even pays her own dose.
Wait, why does the bride's family have to pay this money to the groom? Doesn't the groom already have the most power in the relationship?
He does, but that's precisely why it must be paid.
The dose basically serves as insurance to the bride's family, an enticement to stay involved in the very one-sided marriage, for if the husband wishes to divorce, he must pay back the dowry to the bride's family.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense when you put it that way.
Yeah. So once all the agreements are made by the two families, both parties of the marriage must sign a document of intent called the tabula legitima.
Once this is signed, the groom would place an iron ring called the annulus on the third finger of the bride's left hand.
Well, the ring is important because it serves as a visual representation of the marital harmony between a man and a woman, and as a pledge of fidelity.
Oh, but still, why on the third finger of the left hand?
Well, it's a traditional Roman belief that a nerve runs directly from that finger to the heart. So the ring is placed there to represent the true scope and depth of the marital harmony between both man and woman.
Gotcha. Okay, so what happens next?
Next, the pronuba makes her debut.
The pronuba is the matron of honor in the wedding, a woman who has only been married once before. She basically will accompany the bride throughout the entirety of the wedding ceremony today and acts as the head bridesmaid of the wedding.
So what does she do in the sponsalia?
She joins together the right hands of the couple, and the bride would say nubo, signifying that she is promising herself to a man. Once this is said, finally the two previously independent people become sponsa and sponsus, meaning that the couple are engaged to be wed.
Wow, the customs you Romans have. Well, is that it for the sponsalia?
Almost.
After the two are officially engaged, a small betrothal dinner is held, where speeches are made on part of the benefits of the marriage between the two.
So that's it for the sponsalia.
So it's just the sponsalia that happens, and then directly afterwards, in this process of marriage, the wedding occurs?
Not quite. Traditionally, the night before the wedding, the bride has to do a few things.
The bride must sacrifice her childhood toys to the household gods, called the laures. Then she gets her mundus muliebris.
Wait, what is that?
These are her womanly articles. This includes perfume, jewelry, toilet articles, and the clothes of a grown-up woman. This all represents her transition from a girl to a woman during her marriage.
Sometimes soon-to-be brides even receive a distaff and spindle to signify her new role as spinner and weaver of her new household.
Wow, that's a lot of traditions.
Yeah, it is. But right after sacrificing to the laures and receiving her mundus muliebris, the wedding ceremony is all set to begin. Look, the bride.
Wait, I'm assuming her outfit is another strange Roman custom.
Yeah, that's right. That weird orange veil on her head is called a flammeum.
It covers her head and upper face to disguise her face and is meant to be the deep yellowish-orange color of a candle flame.
So, her traditional white dress is called the tunica alba.
While the tunica alba is very simple, the most important feature of this dress is the belt, called the tunica recta, tied with a knot of Hercules around her waist.
Why the knot of Hercules?
Her belt is tied with the knot of Hercules because Hercules is seen by the Romans as the guardian of wedded life. This is seen in how the husband is the only person allowed to untie this knot.
So, is that woman walking with the bride the pronuba?
Yeah, good job. Remember, The pronuba basically accompanies the bride throughout the entire wedding ceremony, and later she will join the hands of both sponsus and sponsor for their wedding handshake. But we'll get to that when it comes.
So, who is that man and what is he doing?
That's the hairospex. He is the priest of the wedding, and this role is traditionally filled by a family friend.
Right now, he is checking for good or bad omens before the ceremony actually starts, and he is doing this because Romans are very superstitious about omens.
For example, this day was specifically handpicked to be the wedding day, simply because the Romans don't deem it as a bad omen day.
Wow. So is the wedding ceremony finally able to start yet?
Yes, now it is.
The ceremony officially starts with a sacrifice of a pig or other small animal, and the entrails are checked for bad omens.
Ugh. Anyway, next comes the wedding contract that we talked about before, called the tabulae nuptiales.
This contract is focused on aspects of the dose, which was, remember, agreed upon during the sponsalia, so it's mainly about the financial concerns of marriage.
So the friends and family who attend the wedding serve as witnesses and attach their seals to the wedding contract, all in order to prove the validity of the marriage.
Oh, that sounds really efficient.
It is.
So what's happening now?
The pronuba is taking the right hands of both sponsor and sponsos for the traditional wedding handshake called the Unctio Dextrarum. This is a very important part of a Roman wedding ceremony because it is the silent exchange between the couple. Next, the bride gives her individual chant of consent.
Quando tu Gaius, ego Gaia.
This chant of consent translates, when and where you are Gaius, then and there I am Gaia. So this is the cake offering.
Why are we making a cake offering?
We are doing this because it is the trademark of a conferiatio wedding, where a cake of grain is sacrificed to Jupiter and 10 witnesses must be present in order for the marriage to be valid.
Only aristocratic families really practice conferiatio weddings anymore, though.
So, do we ever get to eat the cake?
Yes, once the hairospex completes the offering, the ceremonial cake eating begins, which is also custom for conferiatio weddings.
Sweet!
So that's it for the wedding ceremony. Next up is the wedding banquet and feast, called the Cana Nuptiales.
What do we do during the Cana Nuptiales?
Well, in the home of the bride's father, the guests who attend are served lavish food and drink to make for a lovely banquet. While we eat, flutes and other instruments are played, and the newly wedded couple are wished good luck in their marriage. Right after the Cana Nuptiales ends in the evening, the bridal procession to her new husband's house, called the Deductio, will begin.
Wow, what a banquet! I'm stuffed.
Yeah, that food was really good.
So, if I remember correctly, it's time for the Deductio?
Yes, the wedding procession to the bride's new home is about to begin.
Hey, wait, before we go, what's the point of the wedding procession?
The Deductio serves as a public acknowledgement of the rites of marriage, and everyone in the community is allowed to join in on the celebration.
Cool, where will it start?
It'll start at the door of the bride's house. Come on, it's starting now. I'll fill you in as the procession goes on.
So, what's first?
The Deductio begins with a reenactment of the seizure of the Sabine woman, where the bride would enact a struggle with her mother only to be pried away by her new groom.
So, who are they?
Those are 3 boys, each with a complete set of parents living. The first one there is holding a torch called a spina alba, and it's made of white horn, which is a lucky material.
So the other 2 boys are now taking the arms of the bride to guide her to her new home, and it's time for us to follow.
Let's go!
So the joke that person just told, we tell these jokes to keep the ill omens at bay. Look, there's the bride!
Palacio!
Talasio!
So, what does Talasio mean and why are we throwing nuts?
Talasio is a traditional cry of good luck for a Roman marriage, and is usually shouted when a bride is on the procession to her new home. It derives from the Roman god of marriage named Talase.
So, what about the nuts?
Nuts are thrown to ensure fertility for the new couple.
What is the groom doing?
The The procession is splitting into two groups now, for the groom needs to arrive home first and meet the bride when she arrives there.
So, can we go with the groom?
Yeah, let's go. Look, the bride is coming.
So, what's she doing?
She is once again reciting the traditional Gaius and Gaia chant of consent.
Now, the bride is rubbing the doorway with lard and wreathing the door with wool. She does this to signify consent, domesticity, and her newly acquired role as both mother and wife.
So, why is she being lifted through the doorway?
The attendants of the procession lift the bride through her doorway to prevent her from possibly tripping on the doorway, for tripping is a very bad omen for marriage. But once the bride goes into her new house, the house is closed for the public but open for the wedding guests. That's us. Come on. So, the husband is now giving the torch called the Spina Alba to his bride.
This torch symbolizes the integration into her new home.
Once the bride receives this torch, she will usually throw it among the guests, who then scramble for its remains. Unfortunately now, the procession must end for the guests, but the party usually continues outside for a little while.
So, what are the bride and groom doing inside the house as we party outside?
Well, the pronuba escorts the bride into her bridal chamber, and then they both pray for a blessing over the new marriage. She then helps the bride undress, remove her jewelry, then situates the bride into her husband's bed, called the lectus genialis, or the marriage bed.
The pronuba then offers a sacrifice for procreation and exits the room. As she exits, the groom enters and completes the marriage.
So that's it for a Roman wedding?
That's it for a Roman wedding.
Thanks for walking me through that. Hey, one of my Greek friends is getting married in a couple weeks, and I'm allowed to bring a +1. Would you want to come with me and I can walk you through it?
Thank you so much, I'd love that.
No problem. Let's go party.
Let's!